A wealthy man, someone you'd never expect, has just made a decision that will flip your reality upside down. He's about to uproot your entire life and place you somewhere you never imagined stepping foot. Why? Because of something you did, perhaps without even realizing its immense ripple effect. By the end of this message, you will understand not only why this is happening, but how to fully seize the opportunity it presents. Before we dive in, hit that like button, subscribe to Awakening Wisdom, and drop 77 in the comments below. Keep playing this over and over until its energy settles deep into your mind. You've stirred forces you can't yet name, and now the universe is answering in a way that will shatter your old sense of what's possible. This revelation is not random. It's your signal that a door long sealed is creaking open. Ready or not, here it comes. Sometimes life whispers before it roars. One quiet morning, without warning, a decision is made that will alter the course of your life. Imagine waking up to the news that someone powerful, influential, and wealthy has decided to move you to a new place. Not because you asked, not because you applied for it, but because of something you did long ago when no one was watching. That one act, that one moment of truth has returned with interest. This isn't just about relocation. It's a shift, a divine redirection. The kind that feels confusing at first but later reveals itself as the very blessing you didn't know you needed. You may not understand the why immediately, but trust that the universe never acts randomly. Every shift has a story behind it, a higher reason waiting to unfold. This moment is not about luck. It's about alignment. You've been noticed, not by chance, but by energy. The energy you gave out in faith, in compassion, in integrity, has found its way back. When the influential stranger made their decision, it wasn't just about logistics. It was a spiritual recognition of your frequency, your essence, your impact. So before you question what's happening, pause. Reflect on all the seeds you've sown, all the moments you chose kindness over gain, courage over comfort. This decision is the harvest. It's the universe affirming that every choice you made in love was recorded in the grand design. We live in a world where grand gestures often steal the spotlight, yet it's the smallest, most unnoticed acts that create the deepest waves. Maybe it was the time you gave a sandwich to someone hungry, held the elevator door for a stranger in a rush, or simply smiled at someone battling silent pain. You didn't expect anything in return. You just gave, and that's the magic. Kindness, when given freely, is never wasted. It's like a seed buried deep in the soil. You may not see its growth immediately, but in time, it finds light. Someone remembered your gesture. Maybe it inspired them. Maybe it reminded them that goodness still exists. Maybe it changed the course of their entire day or life. There's a mysterious beauty in how the universe archives our smallest deeds. What feels insignificant to us often becomes a turning point in someone else's journey. And in this case, your kindness spoke so loudly in silence that it reached the ears of someone with the means to elevate you. Let this be a reminder. Don't wait for applause. Be kind because it's who you are. The world doesn't need more noise, it needs more heart. And your heart, pure and unassuming, just opened a door you never thought existed. Every action carries a vibration. Some ripple outward quietly, while others strike the chords of universal change. What you did, what you chose, was a spark. You might not have seen it then, but the energy you released shifted something in the unseen. A divine movement began. Think of the universe like an intricate web. Every soul, every choice, every intention interconnected. You sent out a frequency of selflessness, and the universe adjusted its rhythm in response. People talk about fate, destiny, or miracles, but often it starts with an unnoticed moment of truth. You created a shift that echoed across timelines. This shift is why things are aligning now, why opportunities are opening, why you feel a nudge in your spirit to move forward. Even if fear is present, you didn't just impact a person, you altered the energetic blueprint around you. That's the magnitude of living with love and purpose. So when life starts to feel surreal, when things begin falling into place in ways you can't explain, don't doubt it. You're not just witnessing change, you're the cause of it. You sparked a cosmic reaction, and now the universe is catching fire with blessings made just for you. In the quiet corners of life, where no cameras roll and no one claps, that's where your soul did its finest work. You made decisions rooted in honesty, gave when it hurt, forgave when you could have held grudges. And while no one praised you for it, those were your seeds planted in the dark. Time has passed. Life has moved on. You may have even forgotten about those moments, but the universe didn't. In its infinite intelligence, it nurtured those seeds, protected them, watered them, and now, seemingly out of nowhere, they are blooming. This fruit, the opportunity, the relocation, the recognition, isn't a fluke. It's a harvest, a sacred return. So let yourself receive it with grace, with openness, with the understanding that nothing good you've ever done has been wasted. Celebrate not just what's happening now, but who you were when no one was looking. That version of you, pure, grounded, giving, has written this chapter. And now the story is ready to be read aloud by the stars. They say we never know who's watching. In your case, someone powerful saw you, not for what you wore, owned, or posted, but for the light you carry. That stranger with wealth and status recognized something divine in you. Not everyone does, but they did. This wasn't a transactional decision. It was soulful. They felt your essence, remembered your kindness, or perhaps your energy lingered with them in a moment they needed it most. What mattered to them wasn't your resume, it was your integrity. That's what stood out. In a world where success is often tied to visibility, you proved that authenticity shines brighter than performance. You didn't have to be loud to be heard. You didn't need a stage to leave an impact. And someone who could open doors recognized that rare, quiet power. They chose you because you reminded them of truth, of hope, of goodness. And now they're not just changing your zip code, they're giving you access, a seat at a new table. Not because of luck, but because your light was undeniable. We often underestimate the power of our smallest decisions. A smile, a kind word, a moment of grace. These don't disappear into thin air. They travel like ripples on a still pond. They move outward, touching lives we'll never meet and influencing moments we'll never see. You might have thought that gesture you made was forgotten, but it wasn't. It became a wave. Life is an intricate web. You are connected to people you've never spoken to and places you've never been. What you do here echoes there. That one time you helped a stranger might have inspired them to pay it forward. That simple word of encouragement you gave someone might have stopped them from giving up. You didn't just act, you created motion, and motion has memory. The universe does not forget the energy we put into the world. It stores it, multiplies it, and sends it back in ways we least expect. What you're receiving now isn't random. It's the return wave from the energy you sent out long ago, washing back to bless you. So take a deep breath and own your impact. You matter more than you know. The web of life is alive with the vibrations of your goodness, and now it's bringing you a return far greater than what you gave. This is your ripple moment coming full circle. There are unseen forces guiding your journey, threads of destiny woven with care, love, and divine purpose. You may think you're alone, navigating the world by instinct or logic, but behind the curtain, connections are being made, plans are unfolding, and people are being positioned, all for you. That stranger who chose to relocate you didn't find you by accident. The circumstances that led to that moment were crafted by a higher hand. Maybe it was a friend of a friend. Maybe it was a conversation overheard. Or maybe it was simply divine timing. Either way, the thread pulled tight, and it led to you. These threads are spiritual in nature. They connect us not just to people, but to moments, to places, to purposes. The soul recognizes what the eyes cannot see, and your soul has been aligning with this opportunity for far longer than you realize. So even if the path ahead looks uncertain, trust the thread. It knows the way. What's guiding you isn't luck, and it isn't random. It's love in its most powerful form. You are being carried by something ancient, something wise. Let go of fear. The thread will not break. In a world that often rewards shortcuts and spectacle, you chose the path of integrity. You told the truth when it was hard. You kept your word when it would have been easier to walk away. You did the right thing when no one was watching. That's not weakness. That's rare, radiant strength. And now all those unseen choices have opened a door you didn't know existed. Integrity doesn't scream. It doesn't demand recognition. It just works in silence, building bridges in dimensions we can't see. You didn't do it for applause, but the applause is coming because people notice. The right people always do. Not everyone will understand the quiet power of a consistent heart, but those who matter will. The person who chose to uplift you saw your soul, not your surface. They felt your energy before they even knew your name. Let this be a reminder. Stay true to who you are, even when it's hard. Integrity is a magnet for miracles, and you, simply by being honest and real, have called in something extraordinary. In this modern world, trust is the rarest currency and authenticity the most priceless trait. You have both. You didn't build relationships on manipulation or performance. You showed up as yourself, raw, real, and reliable. That's what people remember. That's what they're drawn to. The person who chose to relocate you didn't just trust you, they believed in you. And belief is a powerful thing. It means someone saw your value without needing to be convinced. They felt your truth, and that truth built a bridge of trust strong enough to carry opportunity. Authenticity doesn't require perfection. It asks for presence. You were present in your actions, present in your intentions. That presence created space for trust to grow. It told the universe, this one is ready. And the universe answered, yes, it's time. Let this be your proof that being real is enough. You don't need to pretend to be more. You don't need to wear a mask to be loved or chosen. The world is hungry for truth, and you, just as you are the nourishment it needs. Change, even when it's a blessing, can feel overwhelming. Moving to a new place, stepping into a new role, entering unfamiliar territory, it all stretches the soul. But don't resist it. Prepare for it. This is your next level, and it's not by accident. Start by grounding yourself in gratitude. You're not being displaced, you're being elevated. This new place will challenge you, yes, but it will also grow you in ways you've been silently praying for. Sometimes the universe answers prayers in the form of disruption. Pack light, emotionally and spiritually. Leave behind the old narratives, the doubts, the fears, the stories of not enough. They don't belong in this next chapter. What you carry now should be faith, courage, and a willingness to bloom in new soil. Remember, relocation is more than physical. It's energetic. You're not just changing homes, you're changing frequencies. The version of you that's arriving in this new place is braver, wiser, more expansive. Welcome them. Step into the unknown with eyes wide open and a heart ready to receive. Comfort is seductive. It whispers, stay here, it's safe. But comfort doesn't birth greatness. Purpose does. And now you're being asked to leave behind what you've outgrown, not as punishment, but as preparation for something bigger. Yes, you might miss the familiar routines, the people, the streets that feel like old friends. That's natural. But don't confuse familiarity with fulfillment. You didn't come here to stay small. You came here to rise, to expand, to discover what you're truly made of. Purpose will stretch you. It will take you to places where your old self wouldn't survive, but your higher self will thrive. This new environment will demand more of you, and in doing so, reveal more of you. That's the gift. That's the calling. So say goodbye with gratitude, not fear. Let the past be a foundation, not a prison. The next chapter of your life isn't behind you. It's calling you forward with open arms and untold promise. Walk toward it with the boldness of someone who knows they're on divine assignment. Make no mistake, this isn't just about kindness, it's about courage. You were kind when it was inconvenient. You were compassionate when others closed their hearts. And now the universe is responding with blessings that match the energy of your bravery. Courage isn't loud. Sometimes it looks like waking up and choosing to keep going. Sometimes it looks like forgiving, loving, trusting again. You've made choices that scared you, but you made them anyway. And that's why doors are opening. The universe has a law. What you give returns multiplied, and you gave love, loyalty, integrity, kindness. You poured those things out when you had every reason to be bitter. That kind of giving does not go unnoticed, so receive. This reward, fully, you've earned it, not through striving, but through your spirit. The universe is generous, but it's also just. And now it's saying, thank you for your courage. Here's your confirmation that it was all worth it. You're not just moving, you're ascending. And with every elevation comes responsibility. To thrive in this new space, you must align with its frequency. That means showing up with presence, humility, and intention. This new environment will stretch you. It will introduce you to people and ideas that challenge your limits. Don't shrink, expand. Say yes to the invitations that scare you. Speak up even when your voice trembles. You belong here, not by chance, but by divine design. Create rituals that ground you. Stay connected to your values. Let your authenticity continue to be your guide. The people you meet now will be drawn to your light, but it's your consistency that will keep the room lit. This is your time, not to prove, but to be. To live fully, freely, fearlessly. Thrive not by performing, but by embodying the truth that got you here. You are not a visitor. You are the answer to someone's prayer in this place. Too often we downplay divine timing by calling it luck. But what's happening in your life right now is not random. It's alignment. It's the meeting of preparation, purpose, and divine orchestration. This is what it looks like when heaven and earth agree. You've done the work, not just physically, but spiritually. You aligned your heart with truth, your actions with love, your decisions with faith, and now life is aligning with you. Everything that felt delayed was actually being divinely timed. Don't minimize this moment. Honor it. Celebrate it. Understand that you are not an accident, and neither are your blessings. You didn't stumble into this season. You grew into it. You've attracted this life by being in harmony with your higher self. So walk with confidence. This isn't luck. It's legacy. This is what it looks like when a soul steps fully into its power and the universe responds with a standing ovation. You're not lucky, you're aligned. Now that you've received this blessing, understand this. It's not just for you. You're not just a recipient, you're a channel, a catalyst. What you've received, you're meant to pass on in energy, inspiration, and example. Others are watching your journey. They're learning from how you move, how you give, how you grow. Your story is becoming a spark in their lives. Don't hoard the light, share it. Let your transformation be permission for others to evolve. You're now positioned to be a doorway for others. Whether it's your words, your presence, your leadership, or your quiet compassion, people will be changed because of you. That's the beauty of blessings. They multiply when shared. So keep shining, keep giving, keep being that quiet force of goodness in a loud world. Because now, more than ever, the world needs catalysts, and you, beautiful soul, have become one. Every thought you think, every intention you carry, creates an echo. That echo doesn't just fade into the void, it bounces off the walls of the universe and returns to you, often in ways you never expect. You may not see it immediately, but the energy you put out is shaping the very future you'll walk into. We live in a responsive world. If you sow peace, peace comes back. If you radiate authenticity, doors open where only walls once stood. The destiny you're stepping into was carved not by force, but by frequency. Your own unique vibration of truth and love. That is your signature in this universe. People often chase outcomes without realizing that their energy is the blueprint. You've shifted your energy, and now the reality around you is shifting too. This isn't about control, it's about harmony. You've aligned yourself with higher values, and now higher outcomes are seeking you. So choose your energy with care. Speak with love. Think with clarity. Move with grace. Because everything you're becoming is a mirror of what you're believing, feeling, and offering to the world. Destiny is not distant. It's echoing back to you right now. Hard work matters. But grace is what makes the impossible possible. There are moments in life where, despite all our planning and pushing, the breakthrough comes through no logical reason. That's not hustle. That's divine favor. And right now, grace has its hands on your life. Think back to the times you tried so hard and still fell short. Then remember the moments when something fell into place effortlessly. That's grace moving on your behalf in ways you didn't earn, but you did align with. It's not about striving harder, it's about surrendering smarter. You've done the work, you've held the vision, but this season it's about allowing yourself to be carried. Rest in the knowledge that you're not alone, not forgotten, and certainly not forsaken. There's a higher intelligence weaving miracles into the fabric of your story. Let yourself be led by grace. Let doors open without needing to push. Let provision find you without chasing it. The universe, God, the divine, it doesn't need your burnout. It needs your belief. And belief right now is the most powerful thing you can offer. It's easy to curse the storm when you're in it. The wind is wild, the skies are dark, and you can't see the shore. But not all storms are here to destroy. Some are divine architects, tearing down the false so the true can be revealed. If you've been through a storm lately, know this. It wasn't punishment, it was preparation. The winds that shook you were rearranging your life. The people who left made room for better ones. The endings that stung were simply beginnings in disguise. What felt like a loss was actually a cleansing, a sacred clearing. Because what's coming requires a stronger, truer version of you. And now look at you, wiser, deeper, more grounded. You survived the storm, and more importantly, you grew through it. Storms teach what comfort cannot. They expose our roots. They show us where we need to anchor deeper, and they birth a strength we never knew we had. So don't resent the rain. Thank it, because it watered something inside you that couldn't have grown in perfect weather. That storm didn't come to break you. It came to reveal the unshakable force you truly are. You may not realize this, but your existence is an answer to someone's cry. The way you listen, the way you show up, the way your soul holds space, it's healing. Your very presence carries light, calm, and comfort that many don't know how to ask for, but you bring it anyway. We often underestimate the spiritual weight of just being. In a world obsessed with doing, you being present, authentically and lovingly, is radical. You walk into rooms and shift atmospheres without even trying. That's not just personality, that's spiritual resonance. Somewhere, someone was praying for hope, for kindness, for a real connection. And then you came along, not as a savior, but as a vessel. You reminded them that love is still alive, that truth still exists, that goodness hasn't gone extinct. Own your energy. You're not invisible, you're impactful. You are more than flesh and bone. You're a divine echo of everything the world still needs. Your presence is power, and it's blessing people even when you don't realize it. We all have seasons of silence, times where nothing seems to move, and it feels like the world has forgotten our name. You were there, in the quiet, in the obscurity. But that season wasn't punishment, it was preparation. In the shadows, your roots were growing. Your character was being carved. You were learning things no spotlight could ever teach. It was lonely, yes, but it was holy. The darkness wasn't the end of your story. It was the cocoon before the flight. And now the world is beginning to see what was being formed in secret. The fruit of your hidden season is beginning to show. That pain had purpose. That silence held sacred shaping. What you thought was delay was divine development. So when the light hits you now, stand tall. You didn't skip steps. You didn't rush the process. You earned this moment, not through hype, but through depth. Your time in the shadows was a sacred investment, and now the return is here. Long before you were born, someone in your bloodline whispered a prayer into the night. Maybe it was for freedom, for healing, for change. They might not have had the power to see it through, but their prayer didn't die. It traveled through time and landed in you. You are the fulfillment of those unspoken dreams. The one who broke the cycle, who chose differently, who said no more, when everyone else said, that's just how it is. You are the one they hoped for, and your courage is their victory. This is deeper than success. This is about legacy. You're not just building a life for yourself. You're healing generations before you and setting a higher standard for those who come after. You're the bridge between what was and what's possible. So walk with reverence. You carry holy responsibility. You are sacred continuation, and every step you take forward is a step for all those who couldn't. You're not just part of a story, you're the one changing how it ends. There's a quiet moment in every soul's journey where we realize we're no longer who we used to be. Old habits no longer fit. Old environments feel too small. Old relationships begin to fade. That's not loss, it's growth. You've outgrown what once defined you. It can feel strange, even sad, to let go of what was familiar. But growth always requires shedding. You can't stay in the same soil forever and expect to reach the sky. Your soul is evolving. And with that evolution comes a release of everything that once served you, but no longer sustains you. This isn't about arrogance. It's about alignment. You're not abandoning your past. You're honoring it by allowing it to do what it was meant to: shape you, teach you, and then let you move forward. Your new life requires a new level of you. So don't apologize for your expansion. Don't shrink for comfort. You're not betraying your old self. You're honoring their desire for more. And the best way to do that is to keep rising, keep evolving, and never stop becoming. Think back to the version of you who was struggling, confused, afraid, uncertain of their worth. What did they need most? Encouragement, safety, truth, love. Now look at yourself today. Aren't you becoming the very person they needed? That's not a coincidence. That's healing in motion. You've grown not just for your own survival, but to become a lighthouse for others still lost in the fog. Every wound you've healed, every truth you've embraced, has shaped you into someone powerful. You carry wisdom now, earned, not taught. You move with more grace. You speak with more depth. You're no longer searching for permission to be who you are. You've given that permission to yourself. And right now, your frequency, the energy you're emitting, is aligned with expansion, favor, and miracles. That's not wishful thinking. That's physics, like attracts like. For so long, it might have felt like you were on the sidelines of your own life, waiting for a moment to arrive. You've had dreams, desires, and visions, but they seemed distant, just beyond your reach. What you didn't know was that the universe was not waiting on circumstances to align. It was waiting on you to step forward into your purpose. You are the missing piece. The vision you carry inside your heart isn't just your own. It's part of a greater divine plan. Every moment you held back, unsure of yourself, the universe patiently held space, waiting for you to realize your own worth. Now the time has come. The world is ready for what you're about to bring. This isn't about just timing. It's about readiness. Your readiness. The resources, the people, the opportunities, all of it is already here, waiting for you to make the move. Your step forward is the signal that the doors will open, that the resources will flow, and that everything you need will fall into place. It's always been yours. You simply had to believe it enough to walk towards it. So take the step. You've been prepared for this. The universe isn't just waiting for you to act, it's actively calling you. It's waiting for you to rise, to align, and to fulfill the destiny that only you can fulfill. The world is ready to meet the truest version of you. There's a powerful difference between fitting in and truly being yourself. The world often tells us that we need to conform, to blend in, to follow the path others have carved. But what if your purpose was never about following? It was about leading. What if your uniqueness was the very thing that the world needed? Every great change in history, every breakthrough was sparked by someone who chose not to fit in. The visionaries, the trailblazers, the ones who dared to be different. They all felt the weight of resistance, and yet it was their courage to stand out that made them legends. You are no different. Your purpose is not to blend into the background, but to shine in ways others can't yet see. Embrace the parts of you that don't fit the mold. Your quirks, your differences, the things that make you unique, they are your superpower. The world is not looking for another copy. It's looking for your original truth. The sooner you stop trying to fit in, the sooner you will start to attract the people, opportunities, and experiences that truly align with who you are meant to be. The fear of standing out is simply the fear of embracing your greatness. But once you do, the world will see you not as an outsider, but as the leader, the teacher, the inspiration it's been waiting for. You were never meant to fit in. You were meant to redefine what's possible. It's easy to get lost when the path ahead is unclear. When you don't know what's next, fear and doubt can creep in, making it difficult to stay in faith. But here's the truth. The journey is often more about trust than sight. You don't need to see the entire road to take the first step. And that first step is all that matters right now. If you've ever walked a path in the dark, you know that each step forward illuminates just enough to keep going. You may not see the destination, but you feel it. And with each move you make, your trust in the process grows. The universe doesn't expect you to have it all figured out. It simply asks you to walk in faith, knowing that the next piece of the puzzle will reveal itself when the time is right. You are where you are for a reason. The uncertainty you feel is the soil in which your trust is growing. You've already overcome so much. This next phase is no different. Even though you can't see the entire map, trust that it's being drawn as you move. Every challenge is positioning you for greater clarity, greater wisdom, and greater peace. So don't be afraid of the unknown. The unknown is where transformation happens. Step forward with the faith that the road is already unfolding. The universe has a plan. It's simply asking you to trust that it's leading you exactly where you need to go. You are exactly where you're supposed to be, and everything is happening just as it should. In the quiet aftermath of everything that had happened, the skies above the city no longer felt heavy. The horizon looked different now, not just in light or color, but in meaning. Those who had once walked invisibly among the crowd were now elevated, seen, remembered. They had made a choice when it was hardest, when no one was watching, when there was no reward in sight. And because of that one choice, everything changed. The wealthy stranger hadn't chosen them because of fame, fortune, or bloodlines. They were chosen because, when it mattered most, they did what no one else would. The relocation wasn't just physical, it was a shedding of old limits, a stepping into a life redefined by possibility. The place they were going wasn't just somewhere else. It was a realm built on vision, innovation, and trust. A space where potential wasn't buried under bureaucracy or fear. There, courage would be currency and kindness would be capital. And only those who had proven both would ever be invited back. On Earth, few would understand what really happened. There'd be whispers, theories, maybe even conspiracy documentaries. But the truth would stay locked between those who had lived it, those whose names had been on that final list, who had received the quiet message that would change everything. You've been seen. Pack your things. That message had been more than a summons. It was confirmation that their action had sparked a ripple beyond comprehension. Some had saved lives. Some had stood up to injustice when no one else dared. Others had created, led, healed, and held on when everything tried to break them. The stranger, mysterious, unfathomably rich, and relentlessly observant, had watched quietly from the shadows, measuring hearts, not headlines. They weren't looking for perfection. They were looking for conviction. For people who acted with integrity, not because they were told to, but because it was the only thing their soul would allow. When the ships arrived, sleek, silent, in silver against the clouds, it felt like a dream. Families hugged, unsure of what the future would hold. Strangers became allies in a shared destiny. And as the engines hummed to life, lifting them from the soil they once struggled on, a new anthem began to rise. It wasn't sung aloud, but in spirit, in the vibration of every heart that had ever dared to believe their goodness could change something. In the new world, things moved fast. Technology whispered promises of endless growth, and the architecture defied gravity itself. But the chosen ones knew better than to be blinded by spectacle. They carried with them the lessons of the old world: empathy, humility, the power of one voice. They weren't just building a future. They were protecting it from the mistakes of the past, and every step forward was guided by the memory of why they had been chosen in the first place. There would be challenges ahead, no doubt. But this time, they had each other, a tribe of misfits, warriors, dreamers, and quiet heroes. They were connected by something more than circumstance, by the DNA of defiance. The unspoken understanding that doing the right thing wasn't always easy, but always necessary. And the stranger, though never fully revealed, remained their silent benefactor, watching, guiding, and occasionally whispering one final truth. This is only the beginning. As the sun set over their new home, two moons hanging soft in the lavender sky, the chosen ones stood still for a moment, letting it all sink in. They weren't running anymore. They weren't surviving. They were living, thriving, becoming. What once felt impossible now stretched before them like an endless horizon, theirs to shape. The reward was never the relocation. It was the realization that everything they needed had already been within them, long before the ships, the message, or the money. So if you're reading this now, wondering if your quiet courage matters, know this. Someone is watching, not for applause, but for authenticity. Your decisions, your sacrifices, your unwavering stand in the face of darkness, it all counts. And one day, when you least expect it, a message might come for you too. Not because you chased glory, but because you lit a spark when the world needed.